We are at the Back Creek Golf Club in Middletown, Delaware. So there's going to be two starts to this, Lloyd.
Okay.
And this is going to be the one where I do not get the trailer and we can't include it in the video. Okay. Okay, so this is, here's opening number one, and go with me on this, okay?
Cool.
Hey everyone, good morning. My name is Scott Soucy. And boy, oh boy, this is an incredible achievement for Limo Guy TV Incorporated. We have a huge producer on the set this morning. We are currently at Back Creek Golf Club in Middletown, Delaware. And I will tell you this place is absolutely beautiful for a wedding. It's beautiful for a round of golf. And it also is just a wonderful place to sit and do things like this with my good friend, Lloyd Booker.
Yes.
Let me give you the backdrop. Okay, and Lloyd has done so much. I need to maintain control of this interview because he can talk to so many different things, and we can go in so many different directions with this, and we can be 3 hours. So we're going to corral it into a focus on one amazing project that Lloyd is currently involved in with Joshua Coates, a local director out of Philadelphia, and Lloyd Booker is in this movie, Ageless Love. I need you to click on the link below right now before we even get started. Go watch the trailer and then come back, okay? Or if we have the trailer, it's gonna play right now. So Josh, make sure you throw the trailer in the Dropbox.
And I did call him too.
Okay.
I called him.
Now, Lloyd, let me give you the backdrop on my relationship with Lloyd. Lloyd is an incredible inspiration for me. I met him through my wife's cousin Chris, who is managing a fantastic reggae band called Innocence, right, Lloyd? Are they great or not?
Yes, Jimmy Dredd, Pete. What's up, Chris? I'm here with him. You're probably laughing, but yeah, we were at the Blockley in Philadelphia, PA. It was a few years ago, and they're both friends of ours. Hey, look at you smiling.
Because I know he's right in there. He's going on the tangent.
Yeah, you're going to have to reel me in. Anyhow, Scott was there talking to the fellas, and Chris was there, and hobnobbing. Y'all know how he is. The #1 state. He's the #1 dude in the state. Scott Soucy, the limo guy.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. You're amazing.
I'm there with some friends of mine, and I'm being real. This isn't just Hollywood talk or New York talk. And I'm there, and we're in the back, and we're all rapping. I mean, I did know who he was, but I mean, man, we all just sitting down, chopping it up. So after the guys did their set, and by the way, go to anything with Innocence. INNASENSE, Innocence Reggae Band. They do a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, they're down now in the Keys. I think the last time I talked to Jimmy, they were doing some stuff with, who's the dude, Margaritaville? Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
They're at Jimmy Buffett's place. But
what a great choice, Jimmy, man. I haven't met one of your places, man.
They were down there doing a residency. Anyhow, at the Blockley, where those of you that don't know, it's not in existence anymore, but the Blockley was world famous. I mean, you had pop artists there like the Dirty Dozen Brass Band from New Orleans. You had Mimi Ripperton, Gil Scott-Heron. I've seen him. Bumped into people like Bon Jovi and all of them. Anyhow, we're talking about Innocence and Scott Soucy. So got to rapping with him, and we just kept in contact. So when this flick came up, when this movie came up, the #1 person that I thought of was him. I said, listen, maybe we can do something and you can have me, on your show, and we could talk about the film and talk about some other stuff and see how he's been doing, because we've talked, but I haven't actually seen him on a couple occasions. And as a matter of fact, I told Mike Hines, yo, Mike, I know he knows you too, and I'm gonna send this to you, Mike Hines and the Look, all of them cats from that band. So, yeah, and that's how we made this connect, and we're gonna roll with it until the wheels fall off. So,
and for me, as a budding producer, I don't even know if I can use those words. I maybe someday I'll be in this guy's league.
Oh, come on.
And do the kind of things he's doing. But currently I'm on set at the PDRA660.com with Real Pro Stock, Boosted, Nitrous Alley, and also
Oh,
632
yeah, you
Outlaws.
gotta see that stuff, man.
So it's an incredible opportunity with filming motorsports, but I need to do more of this, which is supporting the local community and also supporting a guy who's always been there as an inspiration for me, and also he's such a wonderful voice that I always hear at the right time when I think I'm maybe doing the wrong thing and heading down the wrong road, and then this guy shows up and he's got a wonderful motivational, zinger, and he's just an amazing guy. So if you need to get to know Lloyd Booker, okay? And because he's just that kind of guy, and he's a wonderful supporter of the film, the arts, the creative folks that someday I'll be in their league. Okay, so back to Ageless Love, and we really gotta keep it focused here because I don't want to lose people, and you really need to understand about the wonderful talent that Joshua Coates is, and also this amazing group of actors that they've assembled. Elizabeth plays Nina. Nick plays
Yale, the young
Yale.
version of Yale.
And so you watch the trailer, and it took me about 3 seconds to fall in love with Nina, and then about 7 seconds to fall in love with the story. So go check. Absolutely have to see the trailer, and I cannot wait to see this movie on the big screen. So let's get caught up with how Lloyd is involved with this movie, Ageless Love. Number one, Lloyd, in one sentence, how are you involved in this movie?
One sentence.
Can he do it?
Yeah, in one sentence. Yale Schwartz is, even though he has left this mortal plane, getting into some existential spiritualism. Yale Schwartz is a friend of mine. Yale Schwartz is the subject of the film. It's a true story. And that's one sentence. He's a friend of mine, and he came to me. So now I can expound on that.
Now I need the second sentence is what's your role in this movie?
My role in the movie is that I'm the producer, but I'm also playing one of the cast members that was a friend of Yale's, and his name is Count Basie.
And once again, this is Lloyd Booker. Check him out on IMDb, like I did, and like everyone does as they prepare for interviews like this. And you'll notice that Lloyd's very active in this community, okay? And he's linked up with, I think the ultimate story in this is Joshua Coates. Now, I need to understand your relationship with Joshua and what his role is in Ageless
Joshua is
Love.
a friend of mine. Here's what happened. We had done, meaning myself and Yale, we had done another film prior to Ageless Love, where that's how Yale got a hold of Joshua through me facilitating this. It was Hollywood, WOULD. You can actually see that streaming on anything, and it has Eric Roberts in it. Eric Roberts is Joey Roberts' brother. So Eric befriended us and came on, and while we were filming, because it's a Joshua Coates film, but I was also the associate producer on that. And while we were filming, I talked to Josh. I said, "Yo, dog," I said, "Listen, when you get a chance, you need to look at what Yale wrote, and it's his life story." And what happened is that to be quite honest, I did not think that we would do it that quick. But what happened is that Yale called me to his house. I'll always remember Yale called me into his house, and we're sitting there because he had suffered a stroke. And when the doctors did a deep dive, they found out that he was terminally ill, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And the doctor gave him a date. So he called me up to his house, and he said, "Listen, it was just him and I. His daughter was upstairs, Mona. And we're sitting there, and he said, "Listen, I got something to tell you." He said, "I got 90 days, something like that." And I'm like, 90 days for what? You know, and then he mentioned that, you know, what he had, and we sat there for a couple minutes. It's a surreal thing, and maybe some of your viewers are experiencing some of this stuff. When someone that you're close to actually tells you something like that. And I sat there with him for a few minutes. We prayed, did all of that. And then the next thing that came out of my mouth is, what do you want to do now? And the next thing that came out of his mouth, his reply was, I want to make this movie. So it was just him and I, just like you and I sitting here, wasn't nobody else. And I said, okay, well, I know who you have an idea that you want to have help you with this. I said, but you have two other choices. Samuel Katz, who ran for mayor of Philadelphia, and his brother, and I hope he's looking at this, they have a 13, 14 Emmy-winning series that Yale and I was on, called The History of Philadelphia. It's a documentary. I said, you know Sam, and then there was also a young lady by the name of Maria Barringer or something. She did Fine Wine that Yale was also in. And he said, let's talk about Josh. And I said, cool. I said, you work with Josh, you know Josh. Josh is a friend of mine. You know him pretty well. Also, you know the executive producers, which are Stephen and Marsha Bass. All you cats are friends. I said, so I can get a hold of him. And then he said, well, what do you think the cons are? And let me put it this way. I know you don't like dead air, and dead air is always a bad thing. But I said, here are the cons. I said, it's going to be like, and as a joke, I said, you know, two black guys trying to steal your money. You know, it's going to be, you know, your family and friends. And he busted out laughing. I can't tell you what he said in his own style, but let's just say it was sufficiently Hebrew blue language. We'll leave it at that. And then when he said that, we all bust out laughing. Mona came downstairs, and then he said, "But what's the other thing?" And I said, in all seriousness, I said, you have to figure that you're poking the bear. I said, because something like this was before any of this other stuff came out, has actually never been done to this extent. Meaning this, and these are favorite dudes that I like, and you have to corral me in, but Steven Spielberg, along with the help of Quincy Jones, Whoopi Goldberg, and also Oprah Winfrey, helped pen Amistad, which was an African-American experience, but it was real. It was about the slave ship. And they also did Color Purple. Brad Pitt, and I worked with him, and we'll get to that in a minute, but Brad Pitt was the executive producer for 12 Years a Slave. He was also in the film. This is the first time that I can think of, and maybe your audience will check, that two black guys have helmed a film that, of a friend of mine, but a lot of people would think, oh man, this is a Jewish film. No, it's a great story. And I didn't know Nina. I knew Yale. But in his house, I've seen all of the pictures and everything, because that's where the bulk of this film happens at, in his real home. And he not only died of pancreatic cancer, but his wife, that was 14 years his senior, also passed away from the same illness. And the funny thing is with that is that I don't know of too many people, and I don't know if you know of too many people, and I don't know if you guys know of too many people that would marry a widowed individual, 14, 15 years your senior, with not 1, 2, 3, 5 children. And that's what he did as a young man. And the film is funny. I thought it was like a romantic comedy, but a lot of people are saying, well, it's a drama. It's funny, especially, well, I don't want to give up a lot of things, but when he actually goes into the house to meet the kids, I'll leave it at that. But it's a true story, and he was around to see most of the post-production and as things were going. Beth Caponigro, and Nick did a fantastic job.
Well, let's finish up what you were touching on, Lloyd. A little bit of the taboo in all of the relationships that we have with people, right? Mm-hmm. And so, for me, it's always been, hey, look, love first, ask questions later, okay?
I love it.
And so,
I like that.
And thank you, Lloyd, but you and Josh helping a Jewish couple in a taboo type of environment of discussion, you helping me, and he's showing a big piece of what's in his heart. And that's the kind of guy that Lloyd is, and that's the kind of light that I see out of Lloyd, I hear out of Lloyd, and he's just a Class A individual. And so to see everything come about for Lloyd over the past couple of years, and it's really now reached this fevered pitch of, what? I really love seeing Ageless Love do the things, Hollywood, do the things, and all of the wonderful stuff that's now happening for Lloyd, the success that this team is getting, it's just a wonderful, absolute, amazing blessing for him. And it is for me because he's my friend. And I'm just so proud of him. And it really is special to watch this guy challenge, and also Joshua, you got to see some of his movies. They challenge the norms and they push themselves into places where, quote unquote, society would not want them to be, or not want them to see the support that they're giving. So number one, I got to say publicly, I'm so happy and I'm so excited that Ageless Love is really catapulting my friend and his
everybody
friends
else around you
to a new level. So Lloyd, there's been some amazing things happening with this movie. Tell us a little bit about where it's playing. I mean, where it's played, where it's going, what happens next? Because I want more than the trailer, man. Well, I'm in love with it. I want more. Where come on.
Let me go. I was going to say backwards, forwards, but let me just give you the hodgepodge of what has happened. Just with the screening of the film, it ran at Cannes, the Cannes Film Festival.
The Cannes Film Festival. I mean, that's amazing, dude.
Where Spike Lee was the MC, Master of Ceremonies, and the host. It won, and I think we were talking about it was at the Ridgewood International Film Festival in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and it won the Film of the Year. I think that's what it was there. It will be playing on October the 21st, from the 15th or the 18th to the 21st in Hollywood on Wilshire Boulevard. Those of you that, if you're looking at this way over on the left side of the country, please come and see it.
October 20. Can we go out and see it?
Yeah. Now, as a matter of fact, I do plan to actually be out there because we're supposed to be interviewed, I think, by one of Joshua's friends from CBS. But yes, playing out there, and we are in the mention for a nomination.
For what?
For the Academy Award, the Oscars, and the Golden Globe.
The Academy Award, the Oscars, the Golden Globe.
Well, the Academy.
That's crazy,
and the Oscars,
man.
But it is. It's and I'm looking him square in the eye. And you almost gonna make me cry, man. But yeah, this is really weird. It's weird. The last few months, with all of this happening. Matter of fact, today. And I think Angelo Cataldi. I was just on WIP 94.1 with Angelo Cataldi, Rhea, Al Morgani, and all of them this morning for a couple minutes. And I think later on today I will be doing some stuff with Steve Trevelise, New Jersey 101.5. And those are friends of mine as well as you. And one thing I wanted to touch on that you said, this movie was actually done before the world shut down, and we had two types of viruses. He didn't have any idea that I was going to say it, but I'm glad that he said everything that he said, in particular with the love of people. we had the racial virus and we had the viral virus. And what happened is that through a conflagration of circumstances that I had nothing to do with, this movie was dropped. And it ended up coming at a time wherein people are at odds with one another. So what this shows is that love, as he mentioned, but love covers a multitude of sins. I'm not getting on my pulpit or anything like that, or being, Pastor Booker or Reverend Booker or whatever, Rabbi Booker or whatever the deal is. But he's right, because this shows that people, regardless of race, creed, color, national origin, religion, or what have you, can work together for a common cause, and in some cases, love one another. I love Yale, I love Josh, and I'm quite sure that his family members, and a few of them that took part in this film, loved their grandfather, father, uncle. He had several other members of the family in this film. And he's probably sitting somewhere figuring, laughing. They're going to laugh at this. I told you, picking and prodding the bear. But I did tell him, am I surprised? Yeah, kind of, sort of. But I did tell him that this would cause some notoriety. But I had no idea that the stuff that was going to come up during the year that we were shut down and we were completing the film, that, boy, this really resonates. And I think that's part of the reason. And then you have a story where a young man, as I said before, married somebody that was 15 years his senior, a strong woman. I know all of the women are going to, oh, man, cool, I can get me a young man. I'll leave it at that. I know he's laughing. But the family members saw it. They thought that it was a fantastic story. And like I said, he wrote it. And here's a lot of what he had done. And I had seen this before Josh had, because what Yale was doing was one-man shows. He had recorded a lot of the stuff. He had wrote a lot of the stuff. And he had started acting it out with the hope of one day bumping into somebody like me and Josh. And then when I started hanging out with him, we would go to the Bryn Mawr Film Institute, famous in Philadelphia, Michael McCracken and all of them. And he said, you know what, I got something to show you. So I went over to the house one day and I looked at it and I said, man, this is pretty good. You'll never know. Look what happened. Boy. And even my family members are like, they're looking at me kind of strange.
Well, and I know you're looking at me kind of strange, but we are actively engaged here at Back Creek Golf Course.
Nice place. Nice place.
This is an active course, so these guys are actually working out here. So please forgive us if we have some background noise. But Lloyd, you know what? I know what it means to me to see this success for you. What does it mean to you? Tell me about nothing ever happens today. And everyone says to me, Scott, we love Real Pro Stock. It is great. It's an overnight success. No way.
No, it isn't.
No way. It's been 8, 9, 10 years in the making, and I'm just so thankful that people are taking note and watching it. So what does it mean to you? I mean, what has the road been like? How long have you been on it? The struggles, wow.
I want to do this. Just a couple pictures, and these are some. When I said some famous individuals.
Now, he sent me all these pictures, and I'll put them up on the screen, okay? But I want you to show me so I know what we're talking about. Yep.
With Sam Jackson.
Tell us about this. Give me all the pictures, and I'm going to show them to you, and then I want you to tell me about each one of them, okay? And what do they mean to you? Now, this is
with this ride.
This is going to be the part where Lloyd establishes who he is and how long he's been in this industry, and also the relationships that he has with people. And it's an honor to hold these pictures, and I can't wait to show you each of these pictures, because all of all of the folks in these pictures with Lloyd are superstars, and Lloyd is my superstar. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a wonderful thing for me to be able to hold these. But now we're going to talk about, and we're going to establish. This is where we establish the street cred, and he gets to prove himself as the man. You know, he validates why I love this guy so much, right? So, and why I idolize this guy. So, all right, I'm going to show you this picture right now, Lloyd, and you're going to tell us about this.
Okay.
And man, this is a really great one to start off with, okay? And I got this because I'm going to put it up on the, you know, I'm going to do it, right? I'm going to B-roll it, right?
Okay.
And so, did I use the right term?
Yeah, you used the right term.
Thank God, I'm almost there. All right, so tell us about this picture.
That's the one with Samuel Leroy Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson. And the thing is, this is funny, right quick.
Where were you when this picture was taken?
Actually, I was just to let everybody know, I was a stand-in double for Unbreakable.
For
Sam.
For Sam.
Yeah, I
That's
actually
crazy.
I actually worked with him, and here's the other thing. I just got finished doing.
And so
Go ahead.
M. Night Shyamalan, right? Right?
See?
One of the greatest ever, right? That Unbreakable movie, Bruce Willis, Samuel L. I love that movie. Come on. Who doesn't love? If you don't love that movie, turn this off right now. We're out.
Glad, you know what, since you met, see, you want to have me going off because I'm trying to be cool, I'm trying to be professional, but he done already pricked me and got me started. Glass and the other one with, the second one with McAvoy, man, those three movies that he did, and matter of fact, you have a picture with me and M. Night and his lovely wife. Great flicks. Very, very kind of scary. Yeah.
Yep.
And
So we got that too. I'll put that
got
up.
that one. And here's the other funny thing. With Sam, we had a lot of talk and conversations, but I just did a series of commercials with a buddy of mine, Damon Forte, a $5 burger stop in Philadelphia. One of the locations that I was at was 17th and Washington. And why am I bringing this up with him sitting here? I think they know one another, but the deal is, and you'll probably see it, Jules Winfield from Pulp Fiction showed up on the street and almost caused a massive traffic jam from Pulp Fiction. So, yeah, and I'm gonna send you that. Man, it was really, I thought I had that picture. It was really crazy. So I did that, and I'm supposed to be doing a few others. But talking about the journey, working with him, there's a picture that he has with Bernie Mac, George Clooney, and
man.
Steven Soderbergh.
And so your film is going to Sundance, right?
You know what?
Do you know I was at Sundance one time? And I was mistaken for George Clooney all day long.
Well,
George
wait a
Clooney.
minute. You
know
have
what
to look
I'm
at that. Look at his face.
George, hey
Look
George,
at
how
his
you doing?
face.
Let me tell you
George
something.
probably sees
I handed
this.
out a lot of Scott Soucy autographs, and they thought they were getting George Clooney.
And it's funny.
I never impersonated you, George.
Talk about.
I just
talk
signed
about
Scott
George.
Soucy.
Great. Listen, everybody says it. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy to the point wherein I actually hung with him, and maybe you'll see this. This was not during the filming of Ocean's 11 because I did some work with them. And Jerry Weintraub, may he rest in peace, and God bless his soul, was the producer, and that's Al being around Brad Pitt. But here's what George did. This was during a screening of a film that he had done on the life of Chuck Barris. I forgot what the name of the movie.
The Gong Show.
Yeah, Chuck
Is that
Barris
Chuck
from
Barris,
the Gong Show. Right. and supposedly, like, Chuck had this alternate or split person. It was a funny movie, and it was really good. And George not only was in it, but I think he also directed and was the executive producer. But I can't think of it offhand, but some of you might get. But here's what happened. I'm in New York because I wanted to see it. And I didn't think that he was going to be there with the lead guy. George was there. So that picture that you have in your hand, it was a big one. I had it laminated.
Now, were you double for Bernie Mac?
I was a double for Bernie.
On Ocean's 11.
On the Ocean's flick, yeah.
Dude.
And see,
Steven Soderbergh.
well, let me say this about George, and then I want to get to Bernie. Of course, he looks like him, very handsome. He had a whole bunch of people around him, and mostly women. So here I am, good looking, but tall and black, and walked up, and I said, he said, "Whoa!" I don't know how the hell he remembered me, but he hollered out, and all these people like looking at me like, "Who the hell is that?" And I and he opened it up because it was in an envelope, and he said, "We had a good time, didn't we?" Listen, man, there are some situations where if anybody's out there working, do what you like. Make your job your passion, but make it what you like to do. Because when they were doing those Ocean's films, it was Damon, him, George, Bernie, Elliot Gould. They wasn't working. I mean, after the cameras even stopped rolling, they still sitting at the table playing cards and stuff like that all night long in Atlantic City and some of the places that they filmed those things at. It was one of the best times that I ever, because it was fun. And Bernie was real. Matter of fact, Teresa, his barber, if she sees this, Teresa and Chuck Guarino and his lovely sister, if they get a chance to see this, I know you guys miss him, his daughters and all, his family, you miss him, but we miss him as well, and I miss him too. So yeah, and he was like that. And matter of fact, I hung out with him at there was a place downtown, Philadelphia, not the Bijou Theater, but he was doing a book signing. And they gonna laugh. I'm sitting there, so I walk up, and it's packed. Zanzibar Blue, that was the name of the place. Some of you might remember. And he was doing a book signing right before his sitcom came on. So I went up there, and Teresa's, just like you sitting there, Teresa was and Teresa's like pointing at him, and I said, don't do that. Because Bernie, like all comedians, Bernie has a way of saying things and doing things that can kind of embarrass you, but he's nice about it. And so I gave him the picture. A friend of mine was one of the bouncers. And he said, "Man, you can't stand in line." And he said, "Book." And he knew that I had done some work with them. He said, "You got to get a book." I said, "What do you mean?" "Just listen, just take the book." It was his novel. "I ain't scared of you." That was his thing. And well, that's not what he said, but you guys can kind of, if you look at it, "I ain't scared of you." We'll leave it at that. Anyhow, he's sitting there and he's down. He just like you talked about filling out autographs. He's at the table and he says, "Here you go, baby." And you know he'll this was before COVID, and then he shake a hand, kiss the babies, that kind of thing. And here I come up. Now, he didn't see me. He had his head down. So I said, "Here you go, man. This is for you." And he opened the envelope, and he looked up, and he said, "Mama, give me some love. Come here." And everybody in line, I'm 6'4", 6'5", but after he did that, I was under 6 feet. I was just... and he said, "Give me some love, Mom," and then grabbed me up and started talking. He said, "Bring your ass on back here." I said, "Listen, man," and I felt this tap on the back of my shoulder. I can't make this stuff up. I'm thinking, and I look, and it's a former high school classmate. I had no idea that she was even in line with. And she said, "Lloyd, can you take a picture?" I'm thinking that she's going to take a picture with me and Bert. And I'm getting ready to do that. And he said, "No, hold my camera. I'll hold my camera. I want you to take a picture of me." And he looked at me and said, "Oh, even at home, you got busted." And I'm like, but I missed him. It was really funny. And I wanted to do some things on his show, but what people don't know is that I actually went out there because he was about ready to do another sitcom, which is unprecedented. He was doing movies, and he was doing the television. He was still doing stand-up. And he was going to do another where he was playing either a maintenance man, a garbage man, something like that. And I went out there for that, and then that's when he got called. But yeah, man, it's just funny stuff. And as he mentioned, it's not a overnight. Some people would think overnight. You have to work hard at this. And I've been doing this for a minute. I haven't, and I will admit, I haven't been at it like some other people, because I was also, my avocation is I'm a counselor. I was in education. I worked at Mathematics, Civics, and Sciences Charter School in Philadelphia with Veronica Joyner and Frank Devine, and had been there for a long time. And that's how I kind of got into this, because what happened was there was a young lady, Adrienne Covington, that was one of her students, Mari, was a student of mine. And Adrienne worked for Mike Lemon Casting. And that's how I got into this thing, Unbreakable, through her being at the school. But it's been hard. It's been an arduous task. A lot of times I had to think, have I lost my mind? People would think that I've done that anyhow. But I'm beginning to, as you had mentioned earlier, I don't know where this is going, but I'm beginning to see that it's going somewhere with opportunities. And my thing is that I want to have, and I'm being real, I want to have good people around me as this happens, because if he can be there, and if we're fortunate enough to have the nomination for any of those major awards, I'm going to have him there along with his family. That way, almost like a press contingent, and I'll say everybody else is throwing their hands up from wherever. And I said, when first question goes to Scott Susie right there, he might have some questions to ask the illustrious staff here, the cast and crew. But for everybody out there, you got to keep good people around you. And you got to have some stick-to-itiveness with this kind of stuff, because a lot of people only see the glitz and glamour. They don't see anything else. And some of the people would have no idea with some people. I'm not talking about myself or him, but what we go through in doing this stuff. But it's crazy. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the ride, dog. I'm in like the Grateful Dead. I'm enjoying the ride, and we'll see how this continues through the rest of this year. And as I said before, anybody that's watching this, you're definitely invited October the 21st for Ageless Love out on Wilshire Boulevard. I forgot the name of the theater, but you can easily get this information.
I'll make sure that we have all of the right information on the bottom of the screen here at this time. So we'll firm up the dates, and we'll make sure we have all the locations correct.
And this place is dope. You guys got to come out here. This place
yeah,
is
Back
dope.
Creek is a really special place in Middletown. There's so many wonderful places here in Middletown, Delaware. And listen, I can't thank Lloyd enough, and we need to do that right now. Thank him very much for traveling all of this way to talk about Ageless Love, his wonderful friends that he has shown us. You know, this guy is the real deal, always has been the real deal. And like he said, you have to keep the right people around you as you navigate this very interesting world of produced content, TV, movies, music, and you have to make sure that you protect yourself and put the right people around you to keep you on the right road. And he alluded to it very briefly. The stuff that we have seen in this industry is absolute insanity. If you let it go to insanity. And now if you're controlling it and you got those right people corralling you and keeping you headed in the right direction, you never know where this can go. And to tell you the God's honest truth, I am that guy who should not be in this industry and should have not achieved the things that I have achieved.
Probably the same with me.
Although they are very small, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. And that's what I'm trying to say is, and probably Lloyd should not be here as well. but that stick-to-itiveness word, right, Lloyd? I mean,
Yes.
you have to have
Yes.
that
got-
fight
you got the
inside of you. You have to
grind,
have
Jack.
that light.
Yeah.
And that's that light that I saw in this guy so many years ago. And that keeps me gravitating towards him and listening to him. He's just a quality guy, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I want to say something. Check that footwear out, man. I'm gonna get iridescent Converse All-Star sneaks.
Converse, you need to
Brothers
sponsor
are
me.
watching this. Look what he got on his feet, man.
Converse, you need to be
I'm
sponsored.
gonna get a set of them joints, man.
They're Volt, and they're the color Volt. And you go in and order them online.
That is.
There's
so
a whole
good. That
story
is so
with my
cool.
daughter Elizabeth and getting these. So I'm sorry,
That
we're
is
going
so
off
cool.
on a tangent.
But anyhow,
But you know, so Lloyd, Ageless Love, and I, again, am so happy this is happening for you guys. It's local talent in Joshua.
Yes.
It's local
Yes.
talent in Lloyd. And to see this happen to local guys, it
Yes.
just absolutely warms my heart, motivates the heck out of me. And Lloyd, as these things start spinning up and other things start shooting off, other projects, and
Yeah.
as Lloyd
Yeah.
becomes even more famous than he is right now, he's going to be in more demand than he is right now. And his guidance and his resources and his experience are going to drive all of these offshoot projects that are probably coming
you
in
know,
your life.
I'm glad that you said that.
What's coming up, man?
Okay. I just did a commercial for Bucks County Seafood Marketplace with Tom Rawa and Mike. I'm gonna make sure that they see this, and also my buddy, my A Spoon Coon Spoon from Neptune, Dan Herzog, and his lovely wife Ghana in the Wee Hours Productions. We have a working relationship, and they did this, and then I also did the other one, $5 Burger Stop. My man Damon Forte, famous for Royale with cheese. That's right. And he has tasty beverages to wash down that lovely, sumptuous burger. Yeah, he's gonna get a kick out of that. and it's I'm talking to him because it's a series of commercials that happened by just a weird quirk. I did Jules Winfield. No, that's not me. That's actually the real Jules Winfield. But I'm also going to be doing. Wait a minute. Alonzo from Training Day might show up.
Yeah.
Rick
Get outta
James
here.
might show up.
Are you serious?
Rick James might show up out of the grave. Rick James. Who else might show up? Sidney Poitier might show up.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so we're going to see what happened. Now, also, those are just commercials. But I did a film a short for anonymous content. And for those of you that don't know what anonymous content is, you'll Google it. Anonymous content has worked with, and they have a working relationship with Matthew McConaughey, Mahershala Ali, so I pronounced that right if the brother is looking, Bradley Cooper, and also Samuel L. Jackson. Me, lonely me, did a short that's called The House of Brotherly Love. I'm into these love pictures. Ageless Love, House of Brotherly Love. But the thing is with this short is a combination of Get Out, The Purge, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Scarface, and The Godfather. This is real. It's
This sounds
really
cool.
It's really weird, and I think, and I play the lead character. I am the head of a patriarchal run, very influential, but very, very, very dysfunctional black family. And what happens on the night of the 20th? Yeah, the world was closed down during the 2020. And it happens on New Year's Day when my daughter brings home a young man from school that my wife and I did not know that she was dating a white dude. And this is in the film. And what happens, and I'm not giving anything up, but with all of that other stuff involved, you guys get a view of this. And I have to see where this is going, because the people from Anonymous Content and the young man's name that did this, and I mean young man, Maxwell Kane, who also from the area, both of these, Hollywood, WOULD, Ageless Love, and House of Brotherly Love was all done in the area with local talent. Some people came from New York. And as a matter of fact, one of my buddies, and you probably know him, and he's going to get a kick out of this, Brian Anthony Wilson. And for those of you that love The Wire, Brian played Detective Lieutenant Vernon Holly on The Wire. I was also on The Wire as well, but only for a few episodes, but he was one of the cast members. Brian was the one that put me in touch with the people from House of Brotherly Love. And yo, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's shocking. It's crazy. Yeah, there are little comedic ends to it, but as soon as I know something about that, and it's a short, but I'll let you know, you come and you make sure all your people see it. Now, along with that, there's a bunch of other things that might be coming up. That might be the story of John Ellison, who you probably already know, is the writer, producer, arranger, performer of the original song "Some Kind of Wonderful." They're doing and I call him Uncle John, and they're doing a film on him. And there's a couple other things in the pipeline, so to speak. But I mean, that very well could change once I'm out in LA. And I spend most of my time here, but just in case if I have to go out there for something, some people want to talk and what have you. But we'll have to see what happens. But House of Brotherly Love is now. It's been completed. Ageless Love is now. And by the way, talking about Ageless Love, the studio and the film company changed the title. The actual title at first was "What Do I Do Now?" And where that came from was after he found out that, you know, he had this whole thing. Because I talked to him about this at Yale as he was writing it. He sat on his bed. It was just him. Looked in the mirror and said, "Okay, I got this, you know, this diagnosis and all. What do I do now?" And but they changed it. And I like the title because love, like I said, covers a multitude of sins. If you love one another, you can move mountains, Jack. But anyhow, I don't want to go too much into that. That's for another time on his show. And wait a minute. I have to tell him thank you. I mean, I have done a couple other things, but this is best time I had doing an interview in a long time. And the fact that I know him, so wasn't nervous or anything, and this feels just like being at home. I want to go out on the links, man, and hit on the back nine. Yeah, that's right. For those of you that don't think that wait a minute, I'm gonna take this back because somebody might see this. Buddy of mine, Lee Van Dusen, did some stuff with Jackass. He actually golfs. Me, I can play tennis and I can play basketball. I'm gonna tell you a funny thing talking about golfing, and those of you, they will not ever let me live this down. I was out at a club in California. Him and his father, Mark, they're gonna see this. And they hit. And I'm the kind of person, if I'm around somebody and they do it, I want to be at least as good as they are doing it. But see, I know Lee, and for a long time, and we're friends, and to have him do something that I can't do kind of galled me. So I'm standing up there, but I'm playing. There was the sprinkler, you know, that juts out of the ground, right? My ball landed at the tip of so the deal is that I'm not gonna move the ball. You know, don't give me, I guess you call it a dropper. I'm not gonna move the ball. I'm going to do, you know, I'm gonna hit that ball and curl that thing around this thing and hit it on down there on the green. They said, you better move that. They said, you better move that ball. I said, man, I'm not moving anything. I know what to do. They said, move the ball. If you're ever in a situation like that and somebody tells you move the ball, move the ball. I found out by the hard way. I reared back with I don't even know if it was 9-iron. I reared back because I was going to golf that bad boy. You know how you have these things and people talk about, you can see your life flashing. You can make life flash before you in the front. Man, I'm telling you, it looked like something from a Looney Tunes cartoon. I hit the pipe, not the ball. Ball didn't even move. Snapped the shaft. The thing is spinning back, and I'm standing there looking at this like, that's not supposed to be in the air like that. They're standing over there looking, hit me square in my big forehead. You could hear the sound. Coop! I'm like looking around. I grabbed my head. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I looked down and it was separated. They said, listen, don't worry about a thing. Go take a rest, a breather. I said, is there anything wrong? They said, nah. They said, nah, you look okay. They lied. I got in the car on the way going back home. I looked in the mirror. I got another eye up here. They said, man, and they were laughing. They said, I couldn't believe what I was saying. And they still laugh at it to this day. So, but I'm coming out here with him, and I'm going to learn to get my game. Now, I'll tell you one thing, I'm not as bad as Charles Barkley.
Charles is.
And I hope he sees it, because I've talked to him. And it ain't like we friends, but I'm not as, well, wait a minute. Hold on, I take that back, just in case I get a call. Because I also know Kenny, but just
Charles,
in case
you need help, man.
Yeah. No, he actually changed his swing. His swing has gotten better. Yeah,
I hope he did.
But I can beat you. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
And then let me reciprocate that thank you. Thank you once again, Lloyd, for coming all this way. And as you can see, all of my fans, if I have any fans, all of my fans, you have to understand what a great guy this is and how much fun he is, right? And now you understand. He's absolutely awesome, can go in so many different directions and has the experience to take us there. But this is just the beginning of the relationship. I'm going to try, Irene, let me go out West Coast and watch this show, Ageless Love. Maybe, baby, I'll take you out with me and we'll go have some fun. There's a lot of West Coast people that I need to stop in and say hi to, and you all know who you are. And to wrap this up, Lloyd Booker, thank you once again for coming and chit-chatting all the way down to Middletown, Delaware. I really appreciate you. Now you understand the light that's inside this guy, and now you need to tap into that as well. All of your local talent, casting guys and gals, make sure you're thinking about Lloyd for your next project. Get him involved. He's that kind of guy. You're out here repping Ageless Love endlessly, Hollywood endlessly, and all of the other projects that he's involved with. He's always such a great promoter. And from the Back Creek Golf Club, Middletown, Delaware, my name is Scott Susi. This is Lloyd Booker.
Lloyd Booker.
And thank you so much for watching, clicking on that wonderful trailer, viewing it if we have it. Josh, make sure you put it in the Dropbox so we can get it in there.
You're going to call me now. Yeah. When did you do that? I said, come on, man.
Hey, listen, everybody. Ageless Love, look for it. It's coming out. I hope to see it with my good friend here on the West Coast. And can't wait to enjoy some more time with my good friend, Lloyd Booker. Lloyd, thank you once again. Everybody, take care. Love first.
Peace. Love you.
Love first. Ask questions later.
Thank you. I like that. I like that. That's it?
That's it, man.
All right. Man.
Hey, dude. Was it comfy? Was it cozy? Did you enjoy it?
I can't stop smiling. This is crazy.